Hello, welcome to the Special Moves podcast. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Kolkowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hello.
Things are about to change around here. Thought I'd just start with a very bleak and forceful message.
You're both leaning in there as well.
Yeah,
I'm
just on edge. I'm just on edge, Liam.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, because of the coronavirus and measures being taken and the state of our country, and the fact that it's ongoing and changing super fast,
Jake and Liam are appearing here by hologram.
Yes.
That's how we're going to be doing things for the...
Mike is a full-time scientist. No, yeah, we've got a funny...
As opposed to one of them part-time scientists.
Yeah, fucking
lab assistant.
Weekend lab rats. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to do the next podcast. We've got a funny feeling that the government's going to really be pushing this kind of lockdown thing into place anyway. But either way, we're going to do the next podcast remotely. We will live stream it on the day. If on Sunday you want to hang out in Twitch chat or whatever, we'll hop on and we'll do it over there.
Yeah.
If you're an Audio Master Race listener, you can find us on Twitter where you can get more details about that. But have no fear, we will also have the VOD or the recordings, and we'll put that up as usual. But the quality is probably going to be a bit lower, so we just want you to know that. So make the most of this. Look, we're a bit spread out. That's
I'm trying to lean away from Liam, but in doing so, I'm leaning towards Jake. So
exactly.
Trapped
in a rock and a hard place, or in an immovable object and an unstoppable force. I'll let you decide.
I reckon Liam is the unstoppable force.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I'm not moving, am I? So, that aside, it's a good week for video games. I'll get that straight out the way.
It's optimistic.
It's so we're gonna, we actually did have a big debate of whether or not we should actually do it this week, but
crumble into social pressures and
while we still can, we'll make the most of it.
This is a last tango until things calm down. Just because, like, if you're not from this is the last we'll say, I guess, but it's like, if you're not from the UK, you might have seen the stats and stuff. Like, the UK's coronavirus outbreak has spread in some mad rate. It's like on par with how Italy was 2 weeks ago. And if you know what has happened to Italy in the past 2 weeks, oh boy. So because of that, we reckon it's going to be pushed. Not just because it's going to be the law, but we reckon it might be like something bad. So yeah, we're going to do it remotely. But that's all right because, you can watch us live then, which you can't do normally. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
get some Kit Kat chunkies in.
We've been pretty well behaved, I think, since you got here. Fucking washing hands like crazy. We've been very. I noticed you guys.
Please the shareholders.
I noticed you guys were standing outside of the kitchen. Yeah. When we were usually we all kind of crawled into a kitchen.
Like it. It's a lot. Everyone's like vampires. It
is weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's just kind of like an unspoken sort of, just stay away from me, all right? It's like a weird, it's a weird thing. There's pictures of people queuing in Italy, in just like a very organised kind of military sort of grid, and they're just, perfectly.
It's like a total war formation.
It is like an excellent formation.
Mike's like, finally.
Yeah. Back in Rome.
So yeah, please come and hang out on the Twitch. Maybe we could, I don't know. Maybe instead of doing an email, we could look at some questions or whatever. But yeah, that'd be cool. So
that's just a little bonus, really. Like, don't worry if you just like to listen to the podcast whenever you want in the week, or like to watch it whenever you want. That will still be there as well.
We've been trying to make more videos and stuff for people that just got more time to chill and stuff. 4 videos this week just gone. If you're a patron, you got to see the 4th podcast thing. But man, we're going to do some separate videos this week about, is it Resident Evil or is it Doom? I can't remember which one.
Yeah, we'll do Resident Evil.
Okay, so we've played the Resident Evil 3 demo, but we won't talk about it in this podcast. We'll do a separate video, and then we're going to teach you some ways how you can beat the Tanuki on Animal Crossing. And you can.
If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Watch the video. Beat the Tanuki. That's wow. That's some set of words that you just said. Right, maybe we should talk about some games then, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though
Beat the Tanuki does sound worse than fuck Tom Nook, because that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
because 5 ways you could fuck Tom Nook sounds a bit. So I thought I'll say beat the Tanuki.
Sounds much better. We won't say that. We won't put that in the title. Very, very wise. we've done a bonus podcast last week, by the way, if you're a patron, as Jake mentioned, we did a load of stuff last week. So yeah, remember, if you are a patron, check out our bonus podcast from last week where we talked about, actually it wasn't very TV and film heavy at all.
Just us talking about a lot of films that a lot of people haven't heard of.
Yeah.
But this time, we were talking about like, it was after we recorded the podcast last week, we were like, oh my God, we didn't talk about this rumour.
Yeah.
So we actually talked about the PS5 a bit, I think, and this and that. And then, this week, the PS5 GDC show with Mark.
Oh my God, was that boring?
Yeah. Kind of with the fake audience.
Do you know, like in Bloodborne, the NDLC, when you first see Orphan of Cos and it just flops out of the Orphan of Cos flops out of Cos? That was the PlayStation 5 speech. It was just. It slithered into existence.
That existed
Pitiful.
For game developers, exclusively game developers, and Digital Foundry. No one else, surely.
Surely game developers still don't know what the fuck he was on about. He was talking about like. Because the thing was, he was talking about so much new and proprietary technology that hasn't existed before.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't mean anything to you as a developer, unless you're massive into ears, because that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
It's 3D audio.
But because this is all new, like, I mean, some of the jargon he was using would have piqued interest, but you wouldn't have hands-on experience of all this new tech yet, unless you're developing for the PS5, in which case you'd go in, yep. So I was confused at even that, because I felt even like, as somebody who, I don't know, makes games on Unity or whatever, it still sounded... Anyway, it was very fucking...
dry. It seemed like an internal kind of tech presentation or something intended for like engineers and stuff.
I honestly spent 5 minutes trying to figure out if the fucking audience was real. And then one of them scratched I think it was their ear, actually, funnily enough.
But it could have just been like an Adobe stock kind of foreground.
They might have just keyed it out and put it on.
That's what I honestly thought, right? So I was like, I mean, the day before, or maybe the day before that, the Xbox Series X had kind of put out a little bit of an update on the sort of technology, and then there was Digital Foundry. I think they even typed a bit in caps lock, which for them is pretty crazy.
I think, if I remember right, they actually got invited by Microsoft to see it in person, the Series X.
Right, and then they were very excited about that, and then so then 2 days later, Sony put this thing out, and it was like, if this is what console...
Dry as a bone.
I think it was a bit of a marketing blunder, wasn't it? Because they billed it as like the road to PS5. And so people saw, like, people were expecting like a big reveal, and they got, look how fast our SSD is.
Yeah.
For an hour.
For a long time. They spent a long time on SSDs, didn't they? Like, surely the people who would watch that kind of thing would know that an SSD is like what it does.
Fast.
And there was a lot of comparisons of loading times.
SSD
Do you want to know something?
On the market is what they're saying.
I went to visit my friend that day, and it was at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I went to visit them. And the PlayStation thing was at 5 o'clock, and we were both watching it at the same time. We were texting each other about how bad it was. Then anyway, I got to his house, spent the whole night there, didn't speak about it once. Says it all. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
If that was like, remember at the Game Awards when Xbox showed off, we'd have been talking about it. Do you know what I mean? We're video game fanatics. Didn't bring it up once. Come on.
Yeah, they could have shown a tech demo or something.
The fact,
but like even Microsoft with the Xbox stuff, they showed like Xbox One games running at like 4K and stuff like that, whereas Sony just had nothing apart from look at how much data you can push through the system.
You need to see the end result, don't you? You need to see what that actually means on the screen.
Microsoft put out a tech demo of Gears of War 5, a tech demo of an Xbox One game running backwards compatible, and like a Minecraft ray tracing demo. So you could at least see what they were on about.
Yeah, exactly, which is the way to do it. I think ultimately none of it really matters apart from the two things that matter is getting the price and the launch right and having games on it. Yeah. No matter what happens for the rest of the console cycle, if you've got the best games and the best price, then you're going to have the most. You're going to sell the most consoles.
You can wank off about the fucking SSD that you've got all you want, right? Meanwhile, no one cares because they're all playing Animal Crossing on a Nintendo Switch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about the power, it's what the fucking the games, but I guess no one wants to talk about the launch date and things because of what's going on in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is so sadly unavoidable. Like, is it going to push the consoles back? Whatever.
Probably. I think it probably will, because the whole marketing, the whole plan for the whole year, all the events they were going to go to and stuff were just completely thrown out the window. Yeah. And if it was a game, that's one thing. This is the machine that you play games on for the next 5 or 6 years. Yep. So they've got to fucking get it bang on, but like dead right, because if you fall behind, if one of the companies fall behind the other, then you spend the rest of that console cycle just trying to like make up the gap and trying to fucking repair the damage, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they've got to, I think they will get delayed. I think it'll be pushed to next year.
What do you reckon? If it is, it'll be next Christmas. It's hard for me to tell. So with my job, like, there's been a lot of events I was supposed to go to that were cancelled, and then I saw that things are like EGX Res has been moved to July. That's not happening. Yeah. There's no way that event will go ahead in July.
Well, the Olympics are still sort of. I can't. There's still. Is there any bigger event in the world?
I think August is like the last bit where people still have got a bit of hope. Yeah. So like Gamescom is in August, yeah, and like all the talks that I'm having in work, everybody, we all. I think it's because we all want to believe that it's happening. Yeah, you know what I mean? But. Yeah, like if they can make that circuit from August onwards through to Res, Paris Games Week, if they can do that, and the only big event that they're missing out then is E3, which, so if they can catch that, I don't think they'll be delayed, in my opinion. But if Gamescom goes, so will the consoles, because Gamescom, again, it's the biggest event in the world, not just for consumers, even though it is the biggest for consumers as well. The business area is massive, and it's full of people, investors. When I was there, I went to see the Xbox Inside Xbox thing, and the people in front of me and the people behind me who I was chatting to, they were bankers. They were all investment bankers that were there to make some, do you know what I mean? So it's like
buy some Microsoft stock.
It's serious shit, yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I think if Gamescom goes, the consoles will. I think them two are too. If you want my punditry, anyway.
No, that's good. That's what we're here for. I mean, it's just it's when you sit here and you talk about this stuff. I mean, obviously we know there's fucking big shit happening. There's a hospital just down the road where they're just probably having the most difficult time they have ever had, and they're already fucking rammed because the NHS is underfunded anyway. But they're having a really bad time. So we know what we're talking about isn't that important.
No,
but it is a gaming podcast, isn't it? So like, it's weird. Like, I'm listening to a lot of like. Rugby podcasts and stuff, and they're basically all they talk about is just the fact that there's no rugby.
And it's like a eulogy.
A lot of features
for an hour,
and shit.
Talk about classic matches.
But that's, you kind of...
exactly, you rehash.
You still got to think about normal stuff.
Let me say this, right? I am having a really nice couple of times playing games. Well, you know what I'm going to say next, I guess. My time playing Animal Crossing, is joyous.
Okay, let's talk about Animal Crossing then. Probably the most well-timed video game release ever.
Why go outside if you can have your own island?
Which has basically been the marketing idea behind Animal Crossing is don't worry about all this that's happening. Play a bit of Animal Crossing instead.
Make your own world.
I'd be so tempted to be to acknowledge it in the social media marketing or something. They've not even gone there. But it's basically the antidote for what's happening to people at the moment and the way people are feeling. Well, some people, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this that don't give a fuck about Animal Crossing, and the good news is we'll talk about Doom Eternal.
They're on holiday in North Wales.
Well, so listen, Animal Crossing came out. If you don't follow enough people on Twitter that have made you aware of this already, allow me to kick it off for you. Animal Crossing is kind of a very simple idea that hasn't been iterated on that much since it first came out in the early 2000s, and it's kind of how to explain it, like Stardew Valley without the farming. It's a bit of like a social sim, life sim. There's in this one there's some crafting elements and stuff, but basically your goal in the game, if you want to call it that, is you're going on an island and you're just doing some living like. Do you know
it's a very difficult sell to put on paper, isn't it? Really?
Well, this one's been a little bit more ingenious in the way that it gets the hooks in people, because it gives you these meal piece little tasks one at a time that constantly keep. So what I mean is, this is unlike the other Animal Crossing games where you start off with a house, you're basically at like Fire Festival. Like you're in this island of just literally the CEO that's telling you everybody's the best, and he's like, come to this island getaway package. You get there, you've got to chop your own fucking wood. You have to.
Did you think of the Fire Festival thing? Be honest. That's really good. That's really fucking good, Jake. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.
That's a good one.
Cheers, man. So, because the thing is, like Tanuki guy, Tom Nook, man, the boy, he's being very cheeky when you first get there. He's talking about how great it is and stuff. And then, you have to provide dinner and like cooking and that. But anyway, you get to build your own house eventually and other items and houses. So
it's a very sort of cutesy looking game with like the animals and stuff like speak with like this really speeded up kind of text to speech thing or something. So like all the letters, you know, when that Simlish kind of speak where it's just got like gobbledygook.
Banjo Kazooie thing I call it. Yeah,
except this actually does have like a, you know, it's tied to what the actual text to speak is, which is pretty cool. It's like sped up and it's like, you know, it's got this own little unique like way of doing things with animations and stuff, and it's got more of a personality than you think at first. I think like when you start playing it, you kind of think, oh, okay, like, I get what this is. But then the more it goes on, it does have a lot of personality to it.
I think this is the hardest thing about Animal Crossing for like, it must be. So there's people who are listening now, right, that for sure haven't played Animal Crossing before. Yeah. And there might be people listening that haven't even heard of it until the marketing campaign for this started, right?
Definitely.
So like, for people like you, especially people that are like, well, what do you do in it? It's like, it's more subtle than you think, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite hard to explain, but it's weird because it's almost like the anti-game in the sense that like you don't have the stakes are very low. You don't have to stop the world from evil forces. You just kind of go in and you exist. It's kind of like some sort of meditation. You know what I mean? You're doing like your daily things. It's good for you to do it.
Very relaxing music all the time.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know, like pastel-y sort of colours and stuff, and just this. It does have this kind of background. Everything in it feels like background somehow. I don't know how to explain it.
Exactly. It's almost like, it's like a little meditation, man. That's why I like.
It's really highly rated, which is sort of. I've read a bit of hyperbolic kind of. Every time Nintendo comes out with a game, someone says this is the best Nintendo game ever made. So there's quite a bit of that with Animal Crossing as well. There's quite a bit of really like, fucking, this is the best thing on the Switch and stuff. Yeah. Which, like I say, every time there's a new Nintendo game, it feels like that's what gets said, you know.
And that's that's something. If you're not a Nintendo believer, then I can imagine it. You know, the big question with Nintendo games is if it was released and it was called something like, I don't know, what's the opposite of Animal Crossing? Like Man Island, not Man Island. That's a bit too. I'd get it, but I mean, let's just say it was called like Villager Island, yeah.
Yeah, right? Imagine it was an early access Steam game set in like the Ukraine or something.
No, 99 villages.
There actually is as I'm saying that, I've realised that there actually has just come out a game has just come out where you manage a village in 18th century. I think it's like Ukraine or something like that. God. So it's like
Well, imagine the game was
PC
identical.
Master Race version.
So all the animals are replaced with gruff men.
Yeah,
and the game
in the olden days.
Yeah. And the crafting is a lot more high. No, but what I mean is, if the game was exactly the same,
yeah,
but it wasn't made by Nintendo, and the animals were people, would it be so highly rated? That's always the question with Nintendo games.
Yeah,
but like,
but it's the Nintendo kind of gloss and the charm,
like if they weren't animals already. Well, first of all, it's Animal Crossing, mate.
Yeah.
The fact that the animals is like the kawaii appeal that they're going for there, like they're all cute with big eyes and whatnot. Like, so you start off, everyone's got kind of a different island. It's kind of like procedurally generated, I think, or like
quite limited.
There's set templates,
but
I think the set templates that you get and the set templates I get were different, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's true. But it's also like Worms, where they're all basically the same. They're seeded, but they're all basically the same.
A little bit of a variance, and then the other difference is
some rivers, trees, some grass,
and fruit, and you get different fruit. And also, there's I think a roster of like 115 villages, and you get 2 at random.
Yeah.
So like by that very
And they're pretty funny. Like they've got their own like dialogue and stuff.
I don't know who you've got. So this is what I mean. So like, if I visited your island, it's going to be completely different to mine in my head. Do you get me? Like, even though they're all fish and bugs and trees and this. So like, you're basically, you got your little island and you go and visit other people's islands. That's the kind of nature of the game. But I'm having a nice time playing it.
Yeah.
The one thing that it does that's really important to say, if you don't know what Animal Crossing is it has that kind of mobile game. But this has always been in the game, right, since it started. But it's got this kind of like mobile game, like real life time gate thing where, I don't know, so you start off, you're in a tent, and I unlocked the ability to build a house on the first day. And then it's like, okay, but it'll be ready tomorrow. So I had to come back the next day in real life. This is what I mean. So like, they gate things behind real life time. And because of that, you're checking in daily, which is kind of a game as a service in that way. But because it predates that idea, it doesn't really have like login bonus, this.
Yeah, it's not trying to monetize that. It's just the structure of the game, isn't it? Yeah.
So one of the best things about Stardew Valley was the fact that it was this, but it was in-game days.
Yeah.
Because it had that beautiful cycle. Whereas this, it's like I'm trying to potter around for 4 hours in real life to get my real daily tasks done, if you get what I'm saying. So that's one thing that I think is worth mentioning, in case people don't know that, because you don't really see much talk about that. Like you
don't really see much talk about the mechanics of the game at all, because like we've said, it's just it's very difficult to describe, kind of social and life thing where there's like customization and stuff, and it's not quite the Sims. It's not that.
I would say it's definitely closer to Stardew Valley than anything else. If there was no combat and the farming did take a bit of a backseat, although like this one's got a lot of crafting, like a lot more crafting than I was expecting. Yeah, actually, and like I'm having a lot of fun doing that. But you got the smartphone is the best mechanic in this game.
It's cool. It looks nice. Like all the UI stuff is very It's very un-video gaming. It's very nice.
Every app when you like make it full screen and it has that like nice pastel color. But yeah, you unlock like one of the currencies is like miles. Like I guess it's supposed to be like air miles, nook miles, and then you unlock them for doing different hitting different criteria. So you might get one for like catching 5 bugs in a row, or catch 10 fish, sell 50 items, and you can spend these miles on like various things, like new outfits or tickets to spend in the airport to travel to actual like procedurally generated islands. These are only one-time islands. They're supposed to be unique. And you can never visit them again. So you go into the islands. I'm trying to think of a nicer way of saying plunder it for all of its bounty, but basically, like
underneath is a very cold-blooded game about colonialism.
I got apples on my fucking island. I want to have the full set of fruits and stuff so I can make a nice orchid or whatever the word is. So I went over to this other island. I found a wolf camping out there. I said, "Hey, wolf, come and join me in my island," and they were like, "Fabulous, we'll come right away. I'll just make a phone call with Tom Nook." While they're doing that, I'm shaking the pear trees, digging them up, taking it with me, and that's
saying yar.
Yeah, exactly. Going fishing, taking all of it. So the island's barren when I leave it, and there's no wolf on it, which I feel like it's kind of sad. But if I'm taking the population of the island with me, then fine. But may I say very clearly, it was their own free will that they came with me. All right, because I know what that sounds like. So far, I feel like I'm having a nice time with it.
Yeah,
I'm building the island, and it's like. So at this point, I've built my house. I don't want to say what the other shops and stuff are because I don't want to spoil it. But I've built my other buildings at the moment, and now I'm just making way for the rest of the residents. And I can now explore the whole island because when the game starts, there's rivers in the way which stop you getting there, and there's cliffs which stop you getting. I can access all of that now. So I got the game on Friday, so I've only played it for 2 days, but I've already unlocked the full exploration way and. Yeah, man, I just can't wait to check in tomorrow. But I'm going to log in tonight because I need to do some fishing at night to get some fish that only come out at night, and I want to find that ghost. Yeah, because there's a ghost just sneaking around at night, and I'm trying to find him, but he only appears so and so between midnight and 4 a.m. So I'm going to have to stay up till midnight to get this ghost. Do you get me? So that's what I'm up to at the moment.
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough, mate.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. So that's Animal Crossing, and then from one extreme to the other, really, it's Doom Eternal is the other game that came out. They both came out on Friday. Quite nice in a way that it shows the full fucking spectrum of what video games can be.
What is even cooler is that they acknowledge each other. They did. Like in the marketing, Bethesda made some fun of Isabelle, who's like the kind of mascot, I guess, of Animal Crossing. And Nintendo have even said, we've seen the memes online and we appreciate it. We like it. And Nintendo to say that, for Nintendo to acknowledge another game, especially an 18-plus game, is very rare, in my opinion.
They're venturing a bit more into that kind of territory, aren't they? With Ubisoft having Mario and Rabbids and all that. But historically, they fucking...
Yeah, so the fact that they've acknowledged that Doom is also out, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I've been playing both of them, actually. I played a little bit of Animal Crossing. But Laura has been playing that mainly, while I've been playing Doom Eternal, which is a very different game. It's a game about shooting stuff very quickly, punching stuff, tearing things off, chainsawing stuff.
Just general dismemberment.
Blowing stuff up. And this game thinks it is very, hard. This game thinks it's
hard as in an intimidating man.
Shit. Yeah, this game thinks
not
it's...
difficulty, hard as in hard man.
It's just, you're trying to fucking calibrate the HDR at the beginning, and it's going ba-dom, ba-doom, ba-dom, ba-doom, while you're doing it. Just fucking tone it down, while I'm adjusting my HDR. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, Liam, you've been playing this as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been playing it on PC. And I've been having a good time with it. It is pretty much more Doom 2016, except a lot more colourful this time round.
Yeah.
And it is quite overwhelming when you start.
It is, isn't it? It is. It's so Doom 2016 was very... I don't think they quite perhaps have grasped what was so good about it, because it was just like the Mad Max Fury Road type thing of just, it's a very straightforward,
it's very simplistic
premise, done well.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, and people like the kind of no nonsense attitude. No nonsense. This time there's a lot of nonsense in it.
There is, yeah.
There's a lot of Gears of War-ish, Halo-ish kind of cutscene-y type bits where there's just priests and all this sort of stuff.
More of a story. Yeah. They've tried to characterise Doom Guy, giving him a backstory.
His actual name is Doom Steve. And he's been fighting with his inner demons long before he started the external fight. That sort of shit.
It's a lot more tongue-in-cheek, this one.
Yeah.
Because in the game he's called the Doom Slayer, but if because you've got it's basically a Fortress of Solitude from Superman, a flying spaceship.
Yeah.
I think it's called the Fortress of Doom.
I probably will upset some comic book lovers by... I was thinking more Batcave, because that's just...
Actually,
I'm basic, right? And I don't really think too much about Superman.
That's what Liam's here for. Right? So we're not all... Alfred and fucking Robin and people.
Exactly. So
the tongue-in-cheek part means you can listen into these audio broadcasts, and they're very jokey and comic-y. Well, comic-y is in funny, not comic booky.
Yeah.
But they go informally known as the Doom Guy. He's a ball of rage and stuff like a news broadcast.
Yeah, they have these holograms, and so the game is set on Earth, a ruined Earth. It's pretty cool. I quite like the big fucking... they've got giant mechs and giant demons.
They are giant.
I do like the scale of the game.
Yeah, it's cool.
You'll just be platforming through a level or whatever, and there'll just be this giant demon in the background, wrecking buildings and
it
stuff.
Is absolutely massive. The
it's
scale
cool,
of it.
The levels are huge as well.
Yeah. And there's you kind of get to interact with that. You open doors by, there's a gauntlet of one of the mechs that's just embedded in the ground, and you have to charge it up, and that'll open the door for you.
Like an Iron Man blaster.
It's cool. There's cool little ideas, level design wise and stuff. There's really good stuff in it. it's really good visually. Is great. And I thought at first it just looked exactly like Doom 2016. But then there's a nice bit of level variety in it so far from what I've seen.
It's very colourful, this one.
It is, yeah.
You chainsaw a demon, just neon pop-ups come out of them everywhere. You punch them to death in a glory kill. It's blue health pickups spew out of their head and stuff like that.
I didn't know what they were at first, and it's there's blue, there's green,
which
purple.
To be fair, it did in Doom 2016.
Yeah.
Except the ammo is it's proper neon bright colours.
Yeah. Going after that kind of, looter, kind of that Borderlands Destiny type, all these colours coming out kind of thing, a little, just visually,
it's definitely more arcadey, this one as well, to the point where, in Doom 2016, if you discovered the secret, it was just like the item, or whatever.
Yeah.
But this time you can see the secret because it's a giant question mark spinning around on like a platform hidden off in the corner of a room that you have to get to.
So it's basically a first-person shooter where it's sort of story told by cutscenes and, like Liam was saying, a bit of audio and stuff. The game is broken into levels, and then in between those levels, you've got these back cave moments, and then the levels themselves are like a mix of platforming, put a little bit of very light puzzle solving, especially if you want to get these secrets and stuff like Liam was saying. But then the main thrust of it is you like walk into a room. Some fucking death metal starts playing, and then loads of these little guys jump out of the
I'll have you know it's industrial metal.
Yeah,
cheers. You guys are fucking nerds, right?
No, yeah. Don't worry, we'll cleanse by listening to a Spotify playlist.
Industrial metal. You fucking Redditors. But they so there's some loud music starts playing.
Yeah.
And then
it's like a battle arena, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you've got to clear the thing as quickly as possible. And then there's different ways of doing that. Sometimes you've got to like kill the boss. Sometimes you've got to kill all of them. Sometimes it's a bit confusing because sometimes you've got to kill the big one and then all the little ones stop spawning.
But
sometimes you've got to kill all of them. So it's,
you don't know how many... You're like, I was killing enemies and after enemies, not realising it. Just out of sight, it was one of those like floating scrotum demon thingies. And then
demon.
One of them. And you have to...
Take your pick in it.
It's all the same, but a demon's a demon. And then you shoot it with the little sticky grenade thing, and then it stops them all spawning. But I was like, considering this is a game that loves to be fast paced but then stop you and go, hey, did you know, right, that by pressing square you can chainsaw people? Or like mid jump it'll be like, hey, did you know you can grab onto walls? It didn't stop me to say, hey, did you know, kill the big scrotum and then we'll stop spawning enemies. So I thought, if it's going to spoon feed me, do it all the time. Don't just like make me figure it out.
It is weird, but that's the inconsistency there is true with everything, because there's some heavily storied bits, but the intro is really lean and good, and I like it. It's just it's like a fucking, you slow kind of tracking into the earth, loads of screaming, sounds like soldiers are dying. That's all you need to know. Earth's been invaded, right? So who cares,
you put
right?
your helmet on, you grab your shotgun, and
you're
off you go.
Yeah, but then there's like big exposition with like these fucking priests telling you about the,
Yeah.
So there's a mix of...
It reminds me of Abe's Odyssey, the Mudderkins, those priests. When it's like some... do you not think? No?
I can't say I thought of Abe's Odyssey.
No, did you not? For some reason, it made me think of Abe's Odyssey. But you guys are, probably some way in more than me, but how do you feel? I guess none of you played the multiplayer.
I'm not going to... No.
Not yet, no.
I played the multiplayer beta of the Doom 2016. That's why it was unbelievably lame, and I didn't...
the final product wasn't any better.
Yeah.
It was made by a different team, I remember.
It just wasn't representative at all of what the game was and the campaign was, which is weird. But I'm in a weird place because I have been enjoying it, and I've been enjoying the specific genre of metal, and I've been I've been enjoying the shooting, and it's very fast, and the actual second to second stuff is really cool. And the only bits I'm not really enjoying is the platforming, because it's just a little bit like it's just there to... It feels like it's there to punctuate the shooting, basically, and it's not that enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying it. But having said that, I'm sort of running out of steam with it already, and I'm not, I think I'm probably I'm less than halfway, like, for sure. Yeah. A few hours in, like. Yeah. And I just feel like I've had enough already, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a lot more of the same.
Yeah, exactly. And there's I think the other big thing that we haven't mentioned is the skill trees, Liam. I mean...
it's like, I think there's... the amount of different currencies and points you get is a bit much. So you have like points to upgrade your weapon mods, you have weapon mods themselves, you have points to upgrade your suit, then you have like sentinel crystals, which give you like health bonuses and armor bonuses. Yeah. It's a bit like overwhelming, the amount of skill trees on skill trees it has. But I am enjoying the game. I've been playing it sort of like in bite-sized chunks, I guess. Yeah. Like doing a level at a time and then going, right, that's me for a few hours. Yeah. Because the game is actually quite good at, punctuating itself. If you want to take a break, like if you finish a level, it has an option that do you want to exit and save or carry on. Yeah. And so I've just been, pretty much every time I do a level, just leaving it there for the day. Yeah. And so it's been quite nice to play it in like bite-sized chunks. But I am.
But they are pretty long, are they?
It's quite lengthy compared to Doom 2016. I think the amount of time I've put into Doom Eternal, I would be near the end of Doom 2016 in the same amount of time.
No, I'm with you. It does feel like I've been playing it for a long time somehow, which is kind of good. Plays into this idea of I feel like I've had enough already. I might come back. I probably will leave it for a little bit and just come back into it. And
it's like when you get to the end of a level and it unlocks the entire map, you can look at it and you can see just how big these levels are.
Yeah,
but I am enjoying it. I like it for different reasons to Doom 2016. And I do feel that if you are a massive fan of Doom 2016, I'm not sure how this one might sit with you, especially if you're not a fan of like really arcadey, cartoonish type stuff. Because Doom Eternal leans heavily into that side of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good game.
It's a strange one to recommend, I think, because, like I said, I do like it, but what you said, you don't like you like it for different reasons to what you like Doom 2016, which is pretty much the point. Even though the game's really, really similar, it's also like the game, kind of moment to moment is really similar in terms of rushing around these arenas and shooting stuff and punching them and shit. But the whole structure of the game feels a bit different because of all these fucking. There were skill trees, there were skills and shit like that in Doom 2016, but not to this extent. Like this
they were quite pared back, weren't they?
Yeah, this is like everything's got its own fucking skill tree, man. And it's cool. It's cool at the beginning as well, where it's like, oh, here's a flamethrower, you put that on your shoulder. Here's a grenade launcher or whatever. You do have. It does drip feed cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's one good thing.
That's another point I have with it. It feels like I've been given so many tools that I forget I have them half the time.
Also that.
Like I barely use the flamethrower you get given, and that's like if you're playing on the harder difficulties, you need that to get your armor really.
Yeah, it's no joke. Like.
But and I forget about it half the time.
So you got a weapon wheel of I don't know, like 8 weapons or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
But then you got a load of weapons. Each one of them has got 2 different fire modes, and you can choose what the second fire mode actually is. So you can have like a machine gun.
Your shotgun can go fully auto, can't it? Or you could
fire sticky bombs.
Or you can shoot,
and then the machine gun can either fire like a railgun type sniper shot or like a barrage of mini missiles.
Yeah. So that's potentially 3 different fire modes per weapon, and we're not just talking like single fire or automatic here. We're talking doing a different thing. Like, you've got your launcher thing, which fires grenades or like ice grenades that can freeze things, and you've got the flamethrower thing that you've got a chainsaw. You've got melee attacks that some will recharge. So it's like you've got a melee attack that does like explosive blood punch.
Blood punch. That's a very Doom name, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
Yeah, just whack blood in front of it.
I'm looking at it. It's done well review wise.
Yeah, it's had great reviews. Yeah,
like I can see why it's done so well review wise.
Yeah,
because as a shooter, it is probably one of the most polished and satisfying, responsive shooters I've played in quite a while. So I have to say.
You said you're playing on PC, so that's good for us. Same on a PS4. It's really, really fast and really fucking really good and responsive, and to the point where I know that if I went back to something that isn't as snappy and quick, that it just would feel like Destiny's one that just feels like you're fucking wading through treacle when you play a quick high frame rate shooter and you go back to Destiny. It does feel like very slow. So it's like technically it's really, really impressive. But
did you see that thing about the game getting cracked?
No.
Oh yeah, Bethesda accidentally cracked their own game.
Yeah, so like they have new like de novo implemented into it to make it crack free, but they accidentally left in the install files an uncracked exe file.
So literally just in another folder.
Yeah, it was literally called original.exe. So somebody was able to just immediately replace that. And then it was online within an hour and a half.
Original.exe.
And the funny thing
was, bad luck.
It was like your fucking dad's doing Denuvo.
Well, the fucking Denuvo exe was like 200 meg, and I think the non-Denuvo exe was like 16 meg. So everyone, even people that have the game illegally have been saying, "I've just been using this one because it's not as sluggish and stuff like that." Because the game can be played at 8K, can't it? But It will fuck your graphics card to death. Apparently, this helps it a little bit if you.
That's what they're saying. 10 frames.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So so I thought that was a funny story. Just to.
No,
I will say, like, on the PC front, it is incredibly well optimized. Yeah. It runs so well on my PC anyway. Like, not a hitch in sight. It's
cool.
Butter. It's amazing.
Cool. Right. So that's Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, the 2 new games that came out last week. We'll talk about the new games that are coming out this week in a bit. We'll do some emails first. If you want to send us an email, and please do, it's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. The address is
go out your house and talk to us.
Exactly. You losers. So wait, dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. We've had some really good ones this week. This one is from Wayne in Manchester, who says, Dear Special Moves, I've been a big fan of your work since the Pretty Good Gaming days. I really appreciate the hours of content you've given me during my walks to and from work.
Nice one, Wayne.
Nice one, Wayne. Mm-hmm. The internet is currently rife with rumours that Sony are in negotiations with Konami to purchase Castlevania, Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid as IPs. I personally think it's a load of nonsense because the rumours are very specific about what Sony intend to do with the IPs and who'll be working on them. But one thing that did stand out is Castlevania being remade in the style of Bloodborne. It would be awesome in my opinion. The tone and style just make perfect sense. It got me thinking what other games might suit being remade in the mould of Bloodborne. The first that came to mind for me was Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. Cheers, lads. Wayne.
Ooh, Wayne.
That's a good shout.
Wayne, that is a good shout, you know. That's a good IP, that. And people don't use it enough.
Yeah, Soul... Well, there was meant to be a game coming out this gen for it, but it got cancelled.
Well, I actually played, and it was this gen.
Was it Nosgoth? I played that. Yeah,
it was like it was a multiplayer
asymmetrical type one.
Yeah. So like kind of like that Dead by Daylight thing. Half of you the vampires. Nosgoth.
That's the name of like the world in the Legacy of Kain.
Sounds like a goth unit from Warhammer or something. Do you know
it's very grimdark anyway.
Yeah,
the Legacy of Kain.
It was really good, but yeah. So we actually we mentioned the Patreon podcast, and I knew there was something we spoke about. That was the thing that we spoke about in the Patreon podcast, wasn't it?
Silent Hill rumours.
It was the Silent Hill rumours.
That was before the additional Metal Gear and Castlevania stuff came out.
So that's what I mean, right? So as soon as Sony are in talks with Konami about this Silent Hill thing, which did seem very legit, all of a sudden, I also heard. Basically, people were just making a wish list in their head. Yeah. What? I heard while Sony were talking to them about what was that one again? Silent Hill. They were also talking about they're googling what Konami got. Oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid. No, they fucking haven't. I don't believe it for a second. I don't believe it for a second, man. I saw because the Silent Hill rumors really come from somewhere. They come from a few different sources at the same time after other people had been making hints, and official people who could have been working on the games have all made very similar hints. People that don't know each other very much outside of the Silent Hill thing.
Yeah, like the monster designer was tweeting about this mysterious project.
At the same time as Junji Ito, who's not even a video game guy, he's a fucking author, was talking about video games. At the same time, Hideo Kojima was talking about horror. So it's all kind of... There's real like oof to that. Whereas this, it's like, yes, also I heard Metal Gear Solid. No, you fucking didn't. No, you didn't. But if it did happen, let me tell you this, yeah? I would have, as a FromSoft game, just fucking... what I was going to say... Yeah, actually, nah. I was going to say something like, my favourite IPs, yeah, are like, I love Elder Scrolls. But that, as a FromSoftware game, it's just Dark Souls, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, plus it's already happening.
What?
Elden Ring.
Yeah, I guess. It's like that's... Oh, by the way, yeah, just a quick one, right? Like, I act like they're not here now, right? No, just a quick one. You know, like in Dark Souls 1, in the DLC, you could see some Bloodborne characters. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you know what no one's talking about, right? I've just been playing the Dark Souls 3 DLC, and there's loads of Norse guys in the Painted World of Ariandel. Probably like Elden Ring shit. You know what I mean? Because it's all Norse themed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that Skyrim would be good in it, but it's going to happen, isn't it?
I've actually got one I'd like to see.
Animal Crossing.
Know. Not Animal Crossing. No. Vagrant Story, the Square Enix PS1 RPG.
Yeah.
If FromSoft gave that a go, I'd like to see that, because Vagrant Story has a very oppressive atmosphere. Yeah. It has a very in-depth battle system. It's very sparse on like the world building and dialogue. All FromSoft specials.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd like to, and it's heavily based in dungeons and stuff. I'd like to see them give that a go.
I think...
Or just Square Enix make a new Vagrant story, please.
I mean, all I can say is I agree. Because I don't know the game, so I'm just like...
so fucking good.
I'll take Liam's word for it at the same time. But
Play it. It's so good, man.
But Soul Reaver out from Wayne, like, that was a little... Oof. A little...
That's a very good shot.
Spicy number. What you got?
What FromSoftware game I'd like to see?
Yeah, like an old IP. But
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Hasn't already done that?
No.
Well, fucking Fallen Order.
Who's that?
Isn't that Fallen Order?
Did you play that?
No, but I just saw everyone saying it was like Dark Souls because you're
It's not like Dark Souls.
No. More Sekiro, I guess.
Oh, time.
Yeah, if it was like...
timey stuff.
Yeah. Do you know what I want to see?
Very, very easy.
I saw someone mention this online. I can't remember who it was, so sorry, I can't give you any credit.
Yeah.
But someone said, why hasn't there been a Star Wars game made by the Ace Combat developers, like an X-Wing game? That makes such perfect sense.
I guess. I mean, yeah, they were all the rage like 20 years ago, Star Wars vehicle games.
Yeah,
but now everyone just wants to have...
I want Ace Combat, but with X-Wings.
Boots on the ground. Lightsabers in the fucking...
Who wants a boots on the ground?
No, but people want a single-player Star Wars game about
Do you not want to see
a person.
Yeah, because there hasn't been one.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry, I'm on your side. I'm just saying...
Get fucked, Jake.
Listen,
do you not want to see Arsenal Star or whatever they'll call it?
Yeah, Arsenal...
You remember Arsenal
Bird, man. Shout out
Arsenal Star.
You know, make it. It'll be all good.
So, yeah, Star Wars...
It would be a Death Star, but it's just got giant wings with a load of missiles.
That's the golden snitch.
And while you have to do a trench run on it while all your team are on the radio, being over dramatic, it'll be amazing.
What superhero would be best translated into the FromSoft world?
A Jedi.
It's not... All right.
It is, though. It's got a fucking... Right, Sekiro.
Yeah.
Remember when Sekiro came out, right?
Yeah.
It's the best. I remember thinking at the time, this like sword fighting is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It would be a million times better if it was lightsabers.
Right. Nothing else in the game changes.
Because I'm 3, right? I'm 3 years old. But that's what I wanted, and that hasn't.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, it has not happened. Jedi Fallen Order.
I think a lot of people are going to be
platform
like
action game.
Yeah.
It's fucking nothing like this.
It's more Metroid than anything, I guess.
Yeah, it's not
Fallen Order.
If they did.
It's like Prince of Persia or some shit like that. You know, it's
a lot
just
of wall running, yeah.
Yeah.
If people released a FromSoftware style Star Wars game, people would be like, "I've already played Fallen Order." No one will go for it, man.
Are you fucking joking me? Are you joking me? You think if FromSoftware said, "Listen, the next one's going to be Star Wars," everyone would go, "No thanks. We've already had Jedi Fallen Order."
Yeah, no.
I'm moving on. Fucking hell. Neil Roberts says, "Dear Special Moves, I love the work. Keep it up."
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers, Neil. Demos are sort of making a comeback, which I think is great. That's demos.
Yeah.
With Resident Evil 3 remake being teased for Friday, well, that's already gone past, and the greatness that was the Final Fantasy 7 remake demo, do you think the next gen will see a lot more demos, something that really did go away this generation? I do also miss getting demo discs back in the day. Demos have sold me on a few games lately, Medieval Remaster, Wonder Boy, and I used to check if there were demos before buying any games, and I wish more games did still do that. That's from Neil Roberts.
The coronavirus definitely will.
That's what I was going to say.
Create an uptick, right? I reckon that's the number one way it's going to be done.
It's already on Steam. Steam have had this like festival thing, which kind of they've put a load of games that were supposed to be in some fucking you'll know. Some games show, some games conference or something.
GDC
probably, but they can't do it, so
like that,
they've put it. They've put them all together as like a festival on Steam.
Wow.
So they basically uploaded, all the developers uploaded demos that they were going to put on the show floor.
Cool,
yeah.
That's really cool. So there's probably you're totally right. That's the first thing I thought was that the way things are going at the moment, there probably will be a fuckload of demos, actually.
Yeah. Well, if you're spending more time at home and you've got to be picky about what entertainment you have.
Yeah.
So, I can see a lot of demos coming back. Even, like, before the whole world was kicking off.
Yeah.
There was quite a bigger uptick in demos.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. More of a, and there's different. They take different forms now, don't they? You get these like trial weekends, and you get
betas, just straight up normal demos. That's like a chunk of the game cut out and repurposed.
Capcom are doing that quite nicely with with their stuff. Resident Evil 7 had a good demo. People forget that, had a great
beginning hour.
Which was really cool.
Yeah, like really got me interested.
Yeah, me too.
I was on the Resident Evil subreddit, following all the theory crafting.
All the ghost sightings that they put in that demo was genius. PT,
of course, the
famous,
fucking iconic. That's been getting a lot of mentions recently, isn't it? PT. So.
Do you know what this is? What
from us, I mean.
Yeah. Well, listen. Every time you mention something, it's been manifesting. So I'm just trying
to force it. Oh, fucking hell! FromSoftware doing Star Wars, mate. You watch out.
The demos have been popping off.
They've been rolling in.
It is cool to see. Trials and Manor I've got downloaded ready to go, and Final Fantasy VII demo was. It actually was detrimental to me, I think, playing that, because I played it already 6 or 7 months ago, and then when I played it, it just made the wait long. I'm actively waiting for it now, whereas if I didn't play it, I would have just been getting on with my game. But it's worked
then. It's got you know that you want to buy it.
Absolutely.
Resident Evil, that demo did the same to me for free, recently.
Yeah.
That's just got me even more excited for April 3rd.
Yeah.
It's and in that case, if you already know you're in it, it's like an interactive trailer, in it. You know what I mean? It's just that extra bit of marketing, but you know you're going in there.
Playable trailer, you might say. Playable teaser. Was it teaser?
Playable
or
teaser.
It was teaser, yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, let's see this happen for next gen.
Let's do one more email before we do the new games then.
Okay.
Thanks for that one, Neil. This one is from Dr. K.
Kay, or just K,
K, as in
just for letter K.
He gave me the name, but then he signed.
Doctors are in high demand at the moment.
Yeah. Well, he did. His name did come through an email, but he signed the email Dr. K. So I thought, I'll honour that.
Respect for signing.
Yeah. So Dr. K says, "Dear Special Moves, firstly, I wanted to say keep up the good work with the podcast. It's the best gaming podcast out there, and nothing comes close to replicating the banter between you three friends. Well, hopefully we can keep that going, eh, Dr. K?
Yeah, we're the best.
Secondly, I thought I would mention that I'm a 35-year-old GP from Birmingham.
Yes. Shouts out, man. Especially now, man. Shouts out to you.
Yeah, exactly.
We got doctors listening in and shit. Come on.
I listen to the podcast on my commute to work every Monday morning and occasionally finish off the last portion while carrying out home visits at lunchtime. Nice one, man. Good info. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Setting an example there. That's the kind of shit we want to know.
All of our listeners need PhDs from this point on. Is that what
I wanted to ask you how you manage a gaming rut. I recently finished Breath of the Wild, and since then I can't get stuck back into another game. I tried Divinity Original Sin 2 on your recommendation and don't have the motivation to continue after a few hours. The same goes for Okami. I've picked up Kerbal Space Program and a few other things, but haven't tried them. Has this happened to you, and how do you break it? Many thanks for the hours you put in creating the podcast, and extra kudos for providing an MP3 of the bonus podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Regards, Dr. K.
We're bringing it back by popular demand.
Yeah. You can, if you're a patron, you can get the MP3 version.
This is one for you then, Mike, isn't it?
What? How do I get out of rut? Well, I'm permanently in a rut, I suppose, and I have this massive problem. I've got this massive right. So Jake and Liam came around last week, and I probably had.
I'll tell you how many you had. 6.
I had 6 games.
Yeah, I think I can remember them all as well, but I'll just take my word for it.
That's all right.
It's about 6.
It's just a ballpark, isn't it? 6 games on my
PlayStation 4.
That was after I had purged my PlayStation 4 of all unnecessary games that had been on there for years.
Because it's taking
including
up space.
Bloodborne.
No, just a bit of spring cleaning, isn't it?
Yeah. So I deleted a load of shit, reinstalled some stuff I wanted to play.
Yeah.
Deleted all that. I deleted all that again, right? So I downloaded Death Stranding. I just started thinking about wearing boxes and having a big tower of boxes, and I was like, actually, no. So I deleted that.
Yeah.
And I've just got this real fucking problem where I spend more time browsing, installing, downloading, and crucially deleting games than I do actually playing them. I kind of feel like that's all right because I get some relaxation from the possibility of playing games, right. So I fucking work at the moment. I'm sort of working longer hours and stuff, and just coming home a little bit later and things like that. And I'm always fucking really tired.
Taking
and stuff.
it out on the.
on the PlayStation, fucking showing the games who's bossing it.
Deleting sick of looking at you, Norman Reedus.
But it's also to try and motivate me to play the things that I do really want to play, which is the Dark Souls 3 DLC that we mentioned earlier. I still haven't played that, and I really want to play it. So I got rid of Bloodborne, because Bloodborne has been on there since 2015. And
Long may it rain.
To try and shift my focus onto Dark Souls 3. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if you're just eliminating distractions, I can completely...
That's what it is.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So, and because, we've got this podcast going, so, there's generally quite a good flow of, like, I've got Doom Eternal this week that I'm playing and stuff, and there's always something else. That's kind of what keeps me on the treadmill, really. Even though I think if I wasn't doing this podcast, I think I would pretty much just be playing stuff like 6 months, a year later. Do you know what I mean? I'd be a patient gamer, I think. I'd be playing Stellaris and shit, and I'd be playing all the stuff, and I'd be playing, definitely, right?
100%.
And I'd be playing just things that, I'd probably be playing Divinity on the Switch and stuff, but I've already fucking finished that. I played it God knows how many times on the PC with you guys as well, on co-op and stuff. But that's what I want to play. So I'm always torn between what's new and what I actually, is in my back catalogue, and I just want to replay. I like replaying stuff.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time with this, is what I'm trying to say. I have a hard time with like the rut thing.
Fantastic coping advice, isn't it? Just in a way, it is, because it's just saying, hey.
Well, this is more like an AA meeting type.
You're not alone.
Have a problem.
Yeah. What's it say?
So
I think you're right, though. Like, at the end of the day, it sounds like a first world problem, but just know, I'm not saying it like that, but it takes you out of your comfort zone when you're making a podcast, because that's the thing. I don't think the average person listening to this, I'd like to know, if anyone, please do let us know if you are keeping up with games as much as we play them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're also getting all the new games, you know what I mean? Like, because we play pretty much, and I'd like to think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like listening, because even if you're not that interested in Animal Crossing or whatever, or Doom, boom, here we are, we've done it, we're talking about it right now.
So I've played both them games this week. I would never have done that. I never would have done that if I didn't have a podcast, right? And so that's is a bit of a different dilemma, I guess, to just being in a rut where you're just you don't want to play anything. I've been there as well. Do you guys get that? Do you guys get the...
Yeah, I get like burnt out every so often. And usually my cure for it is I'll just spend a week doing something else, like watching movies or reading a book or catching up on a TV show or something like that. And then usually after that I find myself, fresh and prepared for whatever new game's out next. Or I just like keep cycling through games until I find something that sticks.
Yeah, that's the more brutal kind of, I'll try this. That's when things get deleted, you see, guys. I'm like, I'll give this a spin. After 20 minutes, I just know. And it's gone.
I played like 4 out before all the games were coming out now, like Doom and all that. And Neo 2, I played like 4 hours of The Surge on PC, the first Surge game. And I deleted it after like 4 hours. And I was like,
you still give it 4 hours as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's not an insignificant amount of time.
And then I ended up playing Bully Scholarship Edition, and that hit the spot, so I played all the way through that instead.
Cool.
So just go over backlog stuff as well.
Before Animal Crossing, I was like, because I know I had Neo 2, but it's a pretty stressful game, and I had that Call of Duty. Well, I still got it. I mean, like that Call of Duty Warzone, which is again, it's pretty stressful because, like, it's complete. It's 50-50. Whether you can have a good game or a bad game. Do you get me? Like, even if you have a good game, you could have a good team with a bunch of dickheads on your team, and it pisses you off, or you could have a bad game completely by yourself. So it's fine.
Brackets here. That was one of the games I had on my PlayStation. We played a few games on Sunday evening after the podcast.
Quite a few games.
Yeah. Enjoyed it. I liked it. It was really good. Gone. Deleted it.
Exactly. He's a fucking. You don't know, man. He's loving it. Oh, you want to play a bit of Call of Duty? Oh, it's gone. It's 100 gig as well, which takes him a good day to download it again. So, I was going through this though all week. I was like rotating between them, and Neo 2's got a long loading screen, hasn't it? And I was just pissed off. So I had to read. I was reading all week.
It's a long game as well.
Yeah,
like I've just finished Neo 2 and it took me just under 50 hours to finish it.
I was in a bit of a rut. I've been playing Rune Terror, which doesn't really count because that's just been constantly on. And I'm playing it like competitively or whatever. So apart from that, like everything else has just been like really uninspiring. So I was having a couple of days where I was reading or watching stuff, and now boom, I'm cured. Animal Crossing has done it for me. I think sometimes that's it. When I'm in the waiting room for a game, all the other games, I'm like, ugh, well, I'm not going to want to play it after. So, I don't know. My advice is just fucking play a really nice 2D game. That's what I do if I'm feeling a bit. I'll tell you what game I played last time I was in a rut and it sorted me out. That Islands, remember that?
Yep.
It's like a very minimal, like, it's not even a strategy game really.
No.
It's like a placement sim. You're just putting shit down on
an island. It
wasn't
even a sim. It was like a fucking art game or something, wasn't it? It was just like a plop.
Yeah, that's
plop,
good.
Plop.
Yes, Your Grace. I played a bit of that. And like not even Stardew Valley. That's too heavy.
It is quite heavy. Thanks.
It's heavy.
You've got to manage a farm.
It's
heavy. Hard work.
You can't dip into that as light-footed as people say.
Agreed. The council agrees, man. Definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, on my axe. Yeah, like it does take a bit. So like, I like to play those breezy little games. You know, Dead Cells or Slay the Spire or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, roguelike games are good for that, I think.
Yeah, because it's the whole thing is designed about keeping you entertained for between 10 and 20 minutes, and then that's it. That's your story over.
Yeah.
Till the next time. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Dr. K, you send us a follow-up email. Tell us what games you do like and what you've played recently. We'll try and get you some personalised
we'll prescribe
recommendations.
Yeah. Fucking sorry, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Support the NHS in it. Right. So thanks for the emails. If you want to send us an email, it's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com and we'll have a read out. Those are a good batch of emails there.
Nice one. Yeah.
Had a tough job actually picking them out as well because we had a few others that didn't,
Well, so we'll see what happens with them next week, whether it be emails or
live questions.
Going live. I'm sure that'll go well. A lot more emotes, that's for sure. But
absolutely.
Does anyone ever send an emoji in there?
Nah,
I don't really do it in emails, but I just want to know.
I don't think so. I can't
become immune to them, don't
It just sort of blends in with the other language, I suppose, isn't it? Which is a very weird thing to say.
Cool.
But it's true.
It's cool.
It's true, isn't it?
I welcome it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do new games, of which there's not a huge amount that I'm excited about this week. On March the 23rd, we've got Half-Life Alyx, which is coming to PC. So this is the new Half-Life game. It's a VR game. Yep. Quite weird because fucking Black Mesa has just come out as well, which is the Half-Life remake.
God, after how many years that was in development.
Which apparently is bloody really good.
I do own it. I bought it on a Steam sale years ago when it was still early access.
Early access, yeah, sure.
And it was good what I played of it. I didn't finish it, but I had a good time.
I read a couple of reviews, and actually it's meant to be ace. Like it's meant to be like how could you make it any better? It's apparently really,
it's like
really
the
good.
definitive Half-Life experience,
which is pretty crazy to think of as sort of a fan.
Started that was a fan remake,
project. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about now. We're talking about Half-Life Alyx, which is the VR thing as mentioned. I mean,
that's it.
Well,
if you've got VR and you're enthusiastic about it, let us know because we're not going to play it, are we?
I may do.
That's a no.
I think no, because people in work are going to get it. But having said that, I might not see them now for a long time.
Because
of the fucking coronavirus.
It's good timing though. They've got virtual world to go in.
Exactly. So this has been like front page news in front cover of magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
VR magazines. I was.
No, even
like Game Informer and stuff like that. Edge.
I think
it's that VR Game Informer.
No,
VR Edge.
Proper Edge. I think it was. It was at front because I was like, a new half. Oh yeah. All right.
It is a bit of a weird one because you think there'd be a much bigger reaction to a new Half-Life game, but as soon as it was like, and it's VR only, a lot of people
goes,
yeah, they're just like, well.
It's the most Valve thing to happen as well, isn't it? Like they've always said they wouldn't do it unless there was some new technology or new way of doing things that they could, and here it is. I watched
out their own headset.
Yeah.
I hope it blows the fuck out of everybody's expectations because
absolutely.
if it's like the
first proper Valve game in I don't count Artifact or stuff like that.
The opportunity's still rife to be the first essential VR game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That doesn't exist yet. I mean, the
system seller.
Yeah, Resident Evil did a good effort with Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Same with No Man's Sky. Pretty cool. I would say if you've got a VR headset, definitely check No Man's Sky out on it because it is cool. Is it worth getting a VR headset for No Man's Sky in VR? No, it is not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with this, I've watched some gameplay. The guys in work showed me some gameplay footage that they put out for Alyx, and it does look like you can tell that it's like definitely a step up in atmospherics and purpose. Definitely designed for VR. It's not like Resident Evil where it's kind of both at the same time. It's a normal game and a VR game. This is, you can tell that it's not a demo. That it's not like a tech demo.
Yeah, it's like a full-fledged game.
Yeah, and the problem with a lot of this stuff is that even when it is a full-fledged game, it's like 5 minutes of VR gameplay times 8 hours. Do you know what I mean? It's not that. It looks like it's got a really well thought-out level design and stuff, and the kind of stuff you'd expect to see in a video game. Mm-hmm. So if anything's going to be the one.
Well, it'll be, whenever someone gets a headset or whatever, VR headset, like the Steam Lab thing is like still like considered the top,
Boneworks, is it?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's
that's the one that has like the individual finger tracking and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the game with like Portal and all that, like you've got all that stuff going on. That's still like the bar, right? Yeah. And that was.
That was
4 years ago
when the HTC Vive originally came out, right?
Yeah, 2016, 15.
But since then, there's been like another 2 versions of the Vive, and Valve have got their own one now.
Yeah.
Well, and there's how many different versions of Oculus out there?
I'll watch a review.
Yeah. I'll definitely watch some people play it, because I know with some streamers I watch who they're planning to stream them in like full VR.
What do you reckon it'll get review-wise? What are we talking, boys? High 80s?
I think it'll be quite good, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say mid to high 80s, yeah.
Alright, 86.
And on that emphatic note, we wave goodbye to the Special Moves podcast as we know it.
In person.
So from next week onwards, it'll be done remotely, because that's what we should be doing.
Me and Liam
right now,
just
really.
Coughed at the end as well, which is
bad.
I didn't cough. I snorted through my nose. When I was laughing,
that's my mistake.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, the deed is done. But yeah, guys, we'll see you very soon.
Yeah.
Over the internet, like you'll be seeing everybody in your life. So get involved if you want, and stay safe out there.
Yeah, true.
Bye.
True. Agreed. Bye.